Hey everyone, do you want to know how you can create a revive button inside of Roblox Studio? Let me show you how it works. So I have my guinea pig over here who is going to walk over the lava. However, I still need him for my next tutorial, so I'm going to go over him, hold E, and as you can see, he revives. Also, I just want to quickly mention, if you want to support me and download all of the tutorial files, you can become a patron by using the link in the description. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to replicated storage and insert a remote event. I'm going to rename this event to player revive. Make sure to spell it exactly like this. Now let's go over to server script service and insert the script. Okay, so let's remove this right here. The first thing we're going to do is create our variables. So we're going to say local players equals game get service players. Now we want to change the respawn time of the player, so the other players actually have time to revive the player if they die. We're going to do this by saying players.respawn time equals 30. That's a good time. Now let's create a variable for our events. So we're going to say local player revive equals game.replicated storage wait for child's player revive. Now we're going to create a function, or actually connect a function. So we're going to say players.player added connects function added player. Now we want to detect whenever the character of that player is actually added. So we can do added player character added connects function character. Now we want to detect whenever the player actually dies. We can do this the following way. So first we're going to create a variable for the humanoids. So we're going to say local humanoids equals character find first child's humanoids. Now we're going to say humanoids.died connect function, and here we can execute some code whenever the humanoids of that player actually dies. So we're going to save their current position. We can do this the following way. We're going to say local position equals instance.new vector3 value. And we're going to insert that into the player, into the added player. So added player, we can add this as a second parameter. Now we're going to change the name of that instance. So we can do position.name equals revive position. Now we can also change value to the actual position that the player is in. So we can say position.value equals character find first child humanoid root parts dot position. So we're creating a new value inside of the player with their current position in it, so we can later retrieve it and actually spawn them again on that position. So now we're going to say for underscore comma player in players get players do if player, and then we can say is not the added player. We can do this by using this symbol right here. So if we say this, we basically mean is not equals to the added player, then player revive fire clients player comma added player. So we're sending each player except for the player that died a message telling them to create a prompt on the client, and whenever they can send an event back to us, back to the server, and the server will actually revive the player. So now we're going to go outside of this player's added function. Now we're going to say player revive dot on server events connects function player, comma, player to revive. Now we want to do a little bit of security checks, so not every player can just send whatever event they want to us. So we're going to say if player is not equals to the player to revive, so the player cannot revive themselves, and not player find first child revive position. So if it's the player is not the player to revive, and if they do not contain a revive position, which basically means if they are not reviving themselves or they are not currently dead, then we can actually go ahead and revive the player. So we're going to say local revive position equals player to revive, find first child, revive position. So we're retrieving the position that the player died in, and then we can respawn them back on that position. So we're going to say if revive position, then, so if there is actually a revive position, then we can say player to revive, load character, player to revive, what character, wait for child, humanoids root parts dot c frame equals c frame dot new revive position dot value. So we're loading their character again, making them alive again, and then we're waiting when the humanoid root part is added, and basically changing the position of the root part, which changes the position of the player, and we're setting it back to the position that was saved when they died. Now we're going to destroy the revive position, so the server does not think anymore they are dead. So revive position, destroy, like this. Now we can actually go ahead and close the script. Now let's go over to starter player, open it up and open starter player scripts. We're going to insert a local script. Let's remove this. Now we're going to create a variable, so we're going to say local player revive equals game.replicated storage, wait for child's player revive. There is the events in replicated storage. Now we're going to say player revive.on client events connects function player. Now we're going to create a prompt which the player can interact with. So we're going to say local revive prompt equals instance.new proximity prompt, comma player dot character find first child humanoid root parts. Now we can actually change some properties of the prompt. First of all, we're going to change the action text. So we can say revive prompt dot action text equals, I'm going to say revive. You can put whatever you want in here. It's the little text that will display on the prompt. And we also want to change the hold duration. So we can say revive prompt dot hold duration equals, and let's make it 4, so equals 4. Now we want to detect whenever the prompt is triggered and then send a message to the server. So we're going to say revive prompt dot triggered connect function, and we're going to say player revive fire server player. Now let's close the scripts. Now if you actually want to test out the game, we need a brick that kills the player. So we're going to go into workspace and insert the parts. Let's move it over here and let's make it look like lava. So change the color to reds and let's change the material to neon. Now that actually looks like lava. Now we're going to insert a script. So first let's detect if the player touches the parts. For this we're going to say script.parents.touched connects function hits. Now we're going to detect if whatever touched the part is actually a player. We can read the following way, so local humanoids equals hits dot parents find first child humanoids. Now if a humanoid was detected, we know it's a player. We can verify it doing the following, so if humanoids, then now let's change the health to 0, so humanoids dot health equals 0. Now we actually want to destroy the parts. It makes it a little bit easier to test it out later. So script.parents destroy. So now let's test out the game. However, we have a little bit of a problem, so let me just... That looks better. So now let's walk over the lava part and we actually die. Now my clone can go ahead and run up to me and revive me by holding E. And as you can see, I get revived by myself. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. And see you in the next one.